What is invitation to offer? An offer should be distinguished from an invitation to offer. An offer is definite and capable of converting an intention into a contract, whereas an invitation to an offer is only a circulation of an offer. It is an attempt to induce offers and precedes a definite offer. An invitation to offer is an act precedent to making an offer. Acceptance of an invitation to an offer does not result in the contract, and only an offer emerges in the process of negotiation. Then a person advertises that he has a stock of books to sell or houses to let. There is no offer to be bound by any contract. Such advertisements are offers to negotiate, offers to receive offers in order to ascertain whether a particular statement amounts to an offer or an invitation to offer. The test would be intention with which such statement is made. Does the person who made the settlement intend to be bound by it, it as soon as it is accepted by the other, or he intends to do some further act before he becomes bound before he becomes bound by it. In the former case, in the former case, hmm, it amounts to an offer, and in the latter case, it amounts to an offer, and in the latter case, it is an invitation to offer. It is an invitation to offer. Difference between offer and invitation to make an offer. In terms of section 2, clause A of the Indian Code 1872, an offer is the final expression of willingness by the offerer to be bound by the offer should the other party chooses to accept it. On the other hand, offers made with the intention to negotiate or offer to receive offers are known as invitation to offer. Thus, where a party, without expressing his final willingness, proposes certain terms on which he is willing to negotiate, does not make an offer, but only invites the other party to make an offer on those terms. Hence, the only thing that is required is the willingness of the offeree to abide by the terms of offer. In order to ascertain whether a particular statement amounts to an offer or an invitation to offer, the test would be intention with which such a statement is made. The mere statement of the lowest price which the vendor would sell contains no implied contract to sell at that price to the person making an inquiry. If a person who makes the statement has the intention to be bound by it as soon as the other accepts, he is making an offer. Thus, the intention to be bound is an important factor to be considered in deciding whether a statement whether a statement whether a statement is an offer or invitation to offer. Following are instances following are instances of invitation to offer to buy or sell. A prospectus by a company to the public to subscribe for its shares. Display of goods for sale in shop window. Display of goods for sale in shop window. Invitation to offer. Advertising auction sales. Quotation of prices sent in reply to a query regarding price. Basis offer invitation to offer meaning section 2 clause A of the Indian Contract 1872 an agreement an offer is the final expression of willingness by the offerer to be bound by the offer should the other party chooses to accept it. Invitation to offer where a party without expressing his final willingness proposes certain terms on which he is willing to negotiate. He does not make an offer but only invites the other party to make an offer on those terms. Intention of the parties offer. If one person who makes the statement has an intention to be bound by it as soon as the other accepts, he is making an offer. He is making an offer. Intention to offer. If the person has the intention of negotiating on terms, it is called invitation to offer. Invitation to offer. If a person has the intention of negotiating on terms, it is called invitation to offer. Sequence offer. An offer cannot be an act precedent to invitation to offer. Invitation to offer. An invitation to offer is always an act precedent to offer. Offer can be made by act. Offer can be made by abstinence. Offer can be made by act, word, written, oral conduct of the party. Acceptance. Definition of acceptance in terms of section 2B clause B of the Indian Code 1872. The terms acceptance is defined as follows. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto. Proposal is said to be accepted. Proposal is said to be accepted. The proposal when accepted becomes a promise. The proposal when accepted becomes a promise. Analyzes the above definition. When the person to whom the proposal is made A offers to sell his car to B or for B 2 lakhs rupees. Here a proposal is made to be B. The person to whom proposal is made to be made B in the above example, B signifies his consent in that proposal. Then we can say that B has signified his assent on that proposal made by A. Then B has signified his assent on that proposal. We can say that the proposal has been accepted. Accepted proposal becomes a promise. Relation between offer and acceptance. According to Sir William Anson, acceptance is to offer both a lighted match is to a train of gunpowder. Train of gunpowder. Legal rules regarding valid acceptance. Acceptance can be given only by the effect of this observation is that both acceptance triggers cannot be recalled or undone, but there is a choice to the person who had the train to remove it before the match is applied. It in effect means that the offer can be withdrawn just before it is accepted. Acceptance converts the offer into a promise, and then it is too late to revoke it. This means as soon as the train of gunpowder it lighted, it would explode. Train of gunpowder offer in itself in inter, 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 enter, inert in itself is inert, but it is the lighted match, the acceptance, which because the gunpowder to explode. The acceptance of this is an offer in itself cannot create any legal relationship, but it is the acceptance by the offeree which creates legal relationship. Once an offer is accepted, it becomes a promise and cannot be withdrawn or revoked. An offer remains an offer so long as it is not accepted but becomes a contract as soon as it is accepted. Legal rule regarding a valid acceptance. Acceptance can be given only by the person to whom offer is made. In the case of a specific offer, it can be accepted only by the person to whom it is made. Bolton versus Jones, 1857. Bolton versus Jones. Or acceptance must be absolute or unqualified. As per Section 7 of the Act, acceptance is valid only when it is absolute or unqualified and is also expressed in some usual and responsible manner unless the proposal prescribes the manner in which it must be accepted. If the proposal prescribed the manner in which it must be accepted, then it must be accepted accordingly. The acceptance must be communicated to The acceptance must be communicated to conclude a contract between the parties. The acceptance must be communicated in some preceptional form. Any conditional acceptance or acceptance with varying or two deviant conditions is no acceptance. Such conditional acceptance is a counter proposal and has to be accepted by the prosper. If the original proposal has to materialize into a contract. Further, when a proposal is accepted, the offeree must have the knowledge of the offer made to him. If he does not have the knowledge, there can be no acceptance. The acceptance must relate specifically to the offer made. Then only it can materialize into a contract. The above points will be clearer from the following examples. A proposed B to marry him. B informed A's sister that she is ready to marry him, but his sister did not inform A about the acceptance of proposal. There is no contract as acceptance was communicated to A. Acceptance must be in prescribed mode. Where the mode of acceptance is prescribed in the proposal, it must be accepted in that manner. But if the prosper does not insist on the proposal being accepted in the manner prescribed after it has been accepted otherwise, that is, not in the prescribed manner, the proposer is presumed to have consented to the acceptance. If the offerer prescribes acceptance, through messengers, and offeree sends acceptance by email, there is no acceptance of the offer. If the offerer informs the offeree that the acceptance is not according to the mode prescribed, but if the offerer fails to do so, it will be presumed that he has accepted the acceptance and a valid contract will arise. Time. Acceptance must be given within the specified time limit. If any, and if no time is stipulated, acceptance must be given within the reasonable time and before the offer lapses. What is reasonable time is now here defined in the law and thus would depend on facts and circumstances of the particular case. A offered to sell B 50 kgs of bananas at rupees 500. B communicated the acceptance after 4 days. Such is not a valid contract, as bananas being preserved items could not stay for a period of weeks. 4 days is not a reasonable time in this case. A offers B to sell his house at rupees 20 lakhs. B accepted the offer and communicated to A after 4 days. Held contract is valid as 4 days can be considered as reasonable time in case of sale of house. Mere silence is not acceptance. The acceptance of an offer cannot be implied. The acceptance of an offer cannot be The acceptance of an offer cannot be implied from the silence of the offeree or his failure to answer, unless the offeree has in any previous conduct indicated that his silence is the evidence of acceptance. Example: if subscribed for the weekly many magazine subscribed for the weekly magazine for 1 year. Even after expire of his subscription, the magazine company continued to send him magazine for 5 years, and also A continued to use magazine but denied to pay the bills sent to him. A would be A would be liable to pay as his counted use of the magazine was acceptance of the offer. Offer acceptance by conduct or implied acceptance. Section 8 of the Indian Code 1872 lays down that the performance of the conditions of a proposal or the acceptance of any consideration for a reciprocal promise which may be offered with a proposal constitutes unacceptance of the proposal. This section provides the acceptance of the proposal by conduct as against against other modes of acceptance, verbal or written communication. Therefore, when a person performs the act intended by the prosper as the consideration for the promise offered by him, the performance of the act constitutes acceptance. When a tradesman receives an order from a customer and executes the order by sending the goods, the goods the customer's order for goods constitutes the offer, which has been accepted by the tradesman the subsequently by sending the goods. It is a case of acceptance. It is a case of acceptance by conduct. Communication of offer and acceptance. The importance of offer and acceptance. The importance of offer and acceptance given by effect to valid contract was explained in the previous paragraphs. One important common requirement of both offer and is their effective communication. Effective of proper communication prevents avoidable revocation and misunderstanding between parties. Communication of offer. In terms of Section 4 of the Indian Code 1872, the communication of offer is complete when it comes to the knowledge of the person to whom it is made. Where A makes a proposal to B by post to sell his house for 5 lakhs rupees, and if the letter containing the offer is posted on 10th March, and if that letter reaches B on 12 March, the offer is said to be has been communicated on 12 March when B received the letter. Thus, it can be stumped up that when a proposal is made by post, its communication will be complete when the letter containing the proposal reaches the person to whom it is made. Mere receipt of the offer of the letter is not sufficient. It he must receive he must receive or read the message contained in the letter. He received the letter on 12 March, but he reads it on 15 March. In this case, offer is communicated on 15 March and not communicated on 15 March and not 12 March. Communication of acceptance. There are two issues for discussion and understanding. They are the modes of acceptance and when is acceptance communicated. Let let us first consideration the modes of acceptance. Section 3 of the Indian Code 1872 prescribes in general terms two modes of communication, namely by any act, by omission intending thereby to communicate to communicate to the other, or which has the effect of communicating to communicating it to the other. Communication by act would include any expression of words, whether written or oral. Written words will include letters, telegrams, faxes, emails, and even advertisements. Oral words will include telephone messages. Again, communication would include any conduct intended to communicate, like positive acts or signs, so that the other person understand what the person acting or making signs means to say or convey. Communication of acceptance by omission to do something. Such omission is conveyed by a conduct or by forbearance on the part of one person to convey his willingness or assent. However, silence would not be treated as communication by omission. A offers rupees 50,000 rupees to B if he does not abide before the court of law has an evidence to the case. B does not arrive on the date of hearing to the court. Here omission of doing an act amounts to acceptance. Communication of acceptance by conduct. For instance, delivery of goods at a price by a seller to a billing buyer will be understood as has has a communication by conduct to convey acceptance. Similarly, one need not explain why one why one borders a public bus or drop a coin in a waiting machine. The first act is a conduct of acceptance against its communication to the offer by the public transport authority to carry any passenger. The second act is again a conduct conveying acceptance to use the waiting machine kept by the vending company has an offer to render that service for a consideration. Central Bank Yotmal versus Venezuela. Let us now come to the issue of when communication of acceptance is complete in term of section 4 of the Indian Code 1872. It is complete as against the proposer when it is put in the course of transmission to him so as to be out of the power of the acceptor to withdraw the same has against the acceptor when it comes to the knowledge of the proposer when it comes to the knowledge of the proposer where a proposal is accepted by a letter sent by the post. The communication of acceptance will be complete as against the proposer when the letter of acceptance is posted and as against the acceptor when the letter reaches the proposer. For instance, acceptance over telephone or relax when an offer is made of instantaneous communication like telex, telephone, fax or through email, the contract is only complete when the acceptance is received by the offeree and the contract is made at the place where the acceptance is received. Entrores Limited versus Miles for East Corporation. However, in case of however in case however however in case of a call drops and disturbance in the line, there may not be a valid contract. Communication of special conditions. Sometimes there are situations where there are contracts with special conditions. These special conditions are conveyed tacitly, and the acceptance of these conditions are also conveyed by the offeree again tacit or without him even realizing it. Where a passenger undertakes the travel, the conditions of travel are printed at the back of the tickets. Sometimes these special conditions are brought to the notice of the passenger. Sometimes no, sometimes not. In any event, the passenger is treated as having accepted the the special as having accepted the special condition the moment he bought his ticket. मुकुल दत्ता वर्सेस इंडियन एयरलाइंस 1962. where the plaintiff had travelled from Delhi to Kolkata by air and the ticket bore conditions in fine print, but such terms and conditions should be reasonable. Where a launderer gives his customer a receipt for clothes receiving for washing, the receipt carries special conditions and are to be treated as having been duly communicated to the customer, and therein a tacit acceptance of these conditions is implied by the customer's acceptance of the receipt. Lily White versus R. Manuvami 1966 केस लॉ लिली वाइट मुन्नीवामी 1970 In this case is referred above, the respective documents have been accepted without a protest and hence amounted to tacit acceptance. Standard 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 forms of contracts. It is well established that a standard form of contract may be enforced on another who is subjectively unaware of the con- contents of the document, provided the party wanting to enforce the contract has given notice, which in the circumstances of a case is sufficiently reasonable, but the acceptor will not occur any contractual obligation if the document is so printed and delivered to him in such a state that it does not give reasonable notice on its face that it contains certain special conditions. In this connection, let us consider a converse situation. A transport carrier accepted the goods for transport without any conditions. Subsequently, he issued a circular to the owners of goods limiting his liability for the goods. In such a case, since the special conditions were not communicated prior to the date of contract for transport, these were not binding on the owners of goods. रायपुर ट्रांसपोर्ट को वर्सेस घनश्याम 1956 का स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म्स ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. Communication of performance. We have already discussed in terms section 4 of the Indian Contract. Communication of a proposal is completed when it comes to knowledge of the person to whom it is made. As regards acceptance of the proposal, the same would be viewed from two angles. These are two angles. These are from the viewpoint of Prosper and the other from the viewpoint of acceptor himself for the viewpoint of proposer. When the acceptance is put into a course of transmission, when it would be out of the power of acceptor. From the viewpoint of acceptor, it would be complete when it comes to the knowledge of the proposer. Carbolic was carbolic something. कार्लिल वर्सेस कार्बोलिक कंपनी 1856 1813 में An offer to be capable of acceptance must contain a defined promise by the offerer that he would be bound provided the terms specified by him are accepted. An offer may be made either to a particular person or to the public at large, and if an offer is made in the form of a promise in return for an act, the performance of that act, even without any communication thereof, it is to be treated as an acceptance of the offer. Revocation of offer.